Hi again folks, how's all doing? This is a Hornby Alton Hall that was sent to me by a chap called Callum. He told me that this was running fine and then one day it just stopped dead. It ran again for a bit a while later and then stopped again and hasn't run since. Let's turn on the power and see what happens. No movement at all. No, absolutely nothing. But the amp meter's maxing out, so looks like it's a short circuit or something. Let's shove this into the shed and we'll see if we can see what's going on. Alrighto, let's get a look at this, see if we can figure out why it's not running. When I first saw this, I kind of thought, oh, please don't tell me it's one of them. I worked in a Hogwarts Castle a while ago, sometime last year I think it was, and it had what I consider to be one of, if not the worst motors that Hornby ever put in any of the locomotives. It was a sort of a pancake motor, very reminiscent of a mainline model. It might have been something they, a tooling they inherited from mainline or replica or something. But a horrible motor that just made a nasty noise, and the whole locomotive was really cheap and nasty. This seems a bit better. It's, oh blimey, we've got some serious fluffage here. Front coupling's on upside down. We've got a bit of damage to the tender there, actually. I think I've maybe just made that worse. There's another little bit coming off. But we'll glue that back on, and Callum has sent the bit that belongs in here, so we'll repair that. Just show you the fluffage in here. So we've got some pretty serious fluffage to clear out. You can see that front coupling's on upside down. Right, okay. I think we just need to get into this and see what we can see. A little bit worrying if a model just suddenly starts short-circuiting like that. Hopefully it's something simple, but we shall see. Right, let's get this plug out. Goes in like that. And we'll sort that. We've got a screw underneath the front bogie. We're going to have to take the front bogie off to get at it. That comes, and there is. That's the screw there that holds the body on. Undo that. And this should now come out. There we go. Yeah, that's a much better looking motor than was in the Hogwarts Castle I worked on. Well, what can be wrong with it? This tape is kind of pointless. So I think the first thing I want to do, seeing as we've got this disconnected, is to apply power to the terminals of the motor to see that the motor works. Because it's, it's entirely possible the motor's just burnt out. Ooh, I think we've got a dud motor, Nope, nothing. In some ways that's a good thing, because if it's just the motor's burnt out, then it's a relatively easy fix if I can get a replacement motor. I think I'd like to get the motor right out and test it. I've got two tiny wee screws here. If the motor had ran, it would have been a case of trying to find out what was wrong in the electricals, which can be tricky. Oh, it's a big fly worm thing. Look at that. Is this just going to come out? Is it held in at the back? Yes, it does. Undo that. That then comes off like that. Get that off. So now the motor's not attached to anything. Test it again. It does go. It went, and now it's not going. So yeah, it looks like we've got a dud motor. An awful smell of burning coming off it. So we'll go online and see if replacements for these are available. So I've had a look online, and unfortunately these are all out of stock everywhere. I'm going to test this from the amp meter just to make sure that the motor is a dud. But what I've noticed is that this motor is identical to the motor that Peter Spares uses for his XL3 and XL4 motor conversion kits. So if I can get the gear off this, I could get one of these and fit it onto that and do a replacement that way. But let's just see that this definitely is dud. So turn on the power. Oh, gee whiz, yep. You get a wee pop and then it starts to spin. Oh, dearie me, Hornby, why do you make things so difficult sometimes? Right, that drill bit will go down in there. What if, get that on there, that. Right. So with this clamp, I've got the drill bit going into the flywheel there. Let's see if this will work. Yes, it is. There we go. Where there's a bill, there's a way. So I reckon we get hold of one of these. We could fit it onto that, and we'd have a replacement motor. But I will need to speak to Callum because it's going to cost them a bit of money. So a couple of days later, this motor arrived from Peter Spares. Peter Spares did have a few of these motors on their own, so I didn't have to buy the XL3, XL4 conversion kit, which was quite expensive. This was under a tenner to buy, so hopefully we can squeeze this on and we'll be good to go. So that'll fit on there, and now we're going to have to squeeze this on. We'll use the old mitre clamp. That'll fit in there like so. We should be able to get this on. There we go. Right, let's get it into the locomotive. Right, put the mounting bracket back on. Give these a bit of a bend back. Okay, I just want to see if this works okay, and then I'll give it a strip down to clean it all out. Right, let's see if this goes. Yes, it does. Right, okay. We'll get a spot of fresh oil down at the gears. The grease is actually okay. It's not worth taking the gears out. They're all fine. Get some grease on the worm gear. I just want to de-fluff all this because it's a bit of a mess. Right, off that comes. It come. Oh, gee whiz. Get state of the pickups. We might stick these in the sonic cleaner just to clean them out properly. I think we'll stick these in the sonic cleaner just to give them a good clean. And then we need to give this a good clean out. Carpet fibres, all sorts. Does that come out? Yes, it does. That out. And then we can lift the axles out and give everything a good clean. Look at that. Stand well back. It's entirely possible that these axles have been so gunked up and tangled up with all sorts of fibres. That creates resistance and that could put strain on the motor. So the motor's maybe been under a bit of duress and that's why it's given up the ghost. Go for the full strip down on this, it's in such a mess. Get that off there, that'll come off. Yeah, now get those wheels out and we can get everything cleaned up. Now we can get the manky brush in. I think I'll actually have to clean the manky brushes after this one. They do get a wash now and again. Right, okay. We'll give the pickups a buzz in the sonic cleaner and then we'll get this back together. Okay, so my pickups have been in the sonic cleaner, pop them back in. They're all nice and clean now. I'll get this wee bit back on as well. And then we can start to get this back together. And put this in. Right, we'll get some fresh oil into the axles. Yeah, there's a bit of resistance in the wheels, but I think that's just the pickups. Right, okay, let's get the motor back in. There we go. Right, let's see if this works. There we go. Fine. Got a wee touch of oil on all the linkages. Nice bit sticky duct tape. Keep those wires positioned at the side there. Serious fluffage on this front bogie as well. Just take this front coupling out, put it back in the right way round. It's missing its hook, but it doesn't matter. Okay, I think that's the locomotive sorted. The tender isn't actually that bad. There's no fluffage in the axles on the tender wheels. They're all fine. It goes on to there. that piece goes on to there, I think. Or maybe the other way around. Sort of like that. Plastic never breaks that cleanly. It's not like ceramic or anything like that. I think give that a wee coat of black paint and it'll be okay. Alright, there we go. I forgot to clean the front bogey fields because, as ever, they're really dirty. Okay, there we go. Let's go and pull Alton Hall out of the shed. Okay then, let's bring out Alton Hall. So there we are, that's Callum's Alton Hall fixed up with a new motor and given a good clean out. You know, lots of fluff, carpet fibres, gunk and everything else will impact the running performance of a locomotive and put a bit of strain on the motor, you know, shortening its lifespan over a period of time. So, you know, try and keep your locomotives as clean as possible. Some of these models can be tricky to deep clean though, it has to be said. This would have been a much easier repair if the replacement motor was available with the worm fitted, but thankfully I was able to source that motor from Peter Spares and fit the worm. Fitting it was easy, it was getting the thing off that needed a wee bit of ingenuity. Job done though, I will get this packed up and sent back to Callum. Catch you later, folks.